The number of people who died in the bomb explosion of Azare, Bauchi State, has risen to 31, while other victims are currently receiving treatment. The Chief Medical Director of the Federal Medical Center, Azare, Dr. Abdullahi Ibrahim, says the hospital recorded 17 deaths. On his part, the Public Relations Officer of the Joint Health Workers Union at the Federal Medical Center, Mr. Abdullahi Jaju, says that health workers at the hospital who have been on strike agreed to offer skeletal services in order to reduce the pressure on the medical doctors.
In the last 3 weeks, the town of Azare, Bauchi State, in the northeast region of Nigeria, has been under siege with no fewer than 3 suicide bomb attacks in the second largest town after the state capital, leaving scores dead and several others injured. The latest in the series of attacks was the Jaguar Market, where scores of people were confirmed dead and 65 others sustained various degrees of injuries. According to the Federal Medical Center sources, 32 persons have been treated and discharged, while 30 persons are on admission receiving treatment. An eyewitness account explained that in spite of the security measures put in place at the market, the suspected female suicide bomber sneaked into the crowd in pretense of trading and detonated the device.
On the fateful day, we were here with security agents at the entrance to the market. However, unknown to us, a suspected female bomber had sneaked into the gathering from the back to where people gathered. When people saw the woman, they started to interrogate her on her mission, but before she could give any cogent answer, the bomb went off. The clustering around her resulted in 17 people dead, with about 30 people sustaining injuries.
At the Federal Medical Center, most of the injured are still in unstable conditions, as the injuries were mainly head injuries and broken limbs. With the ongoing health workers' industrial action, the hospital facility is being overstretched, while the union had to recall its members for skeletal services.
Health workers were trained to be proactive, and at any time, whether it is sun, whether it is raining, whether it is during Hamatan, we are ever ready to come and give humanitarian services. That is why we are social workers.
The latest attack is an indication that a lot needs to be done by the people and security agents by collaborating with one another in finding a lasting solution to the incessant suicide bomb attacks on the town.
Now, 3 days after the outbreak of violence in parts of Nasarawa State, which later spread to Lafia, the capital, authorities are yet to determine the casualty figures. These include the rumored killing of the leader of the Ambashi court group, Baba Alakio, which has not been confirmed by either police or government. According to eyewitness accounts, 18 people were killed in reprisal, which when Ambashi militia members clashed with Camberio tribesmen earlier. The governor, Tanko Almakra, visited some of the areas West hate, including Tundu, Kwandere and Shabu, to ascertain the level of destruction.
From the first-hand assessment by His Excellency, on the entourage, it was very clear that all of the sporadic attacks were really rather spontaneous and impulsive. You know, people heard about the Alakio incident, which, like I said, is rooted in the stealing of over 200 cattle from the Fulani herdsmen. I cannot ascertain and say clearly whether Baba Alakio was killed, you know, or this is the number of people that died. But evidently there was an altercation, and evidently it was because of the fact that this cattle was stolen and they wanted to retrieve their cattle. This is what the investigation being conducted by the police tells us. So following that credible line, we do not want to pander out or say anything that is not substantiated by police investigation as it is right now. And again, figures, His Excellency began by going to the palace of the Emir. His basic point was he needed to stress no one should take the law into their hands, you know, and at the same time find out from community leaders who and what damage has been done, what lives have been lost, if any. So I cannot also specifically say to you, this is the amount of people, but whatever we have heard is pretty negligible. We would allow the police themselves to reveal at the end of the investigation.
Well, the China's TV crew who were abducted on their way back from Ogidigbe, Delta State are finally back in Lagos. But the ordeal they went through is still very fresh in their memory as we bring you in this report graphic details of their encounter in the hands of boys loyal to Niger Delta warlord Mr. Government Pt.2.
Quite bright and early, we set out from this jetty in Warri and head into Igborodo community in the creeks of Warri Southwest local government area. As we navigated the waters on this journey with an estimated 1-hour drive time, nothing suggested to us of any hitches. On arrival, our mission was to ascertain from this community real reasons why the president can't come just yet to kickstart a project of strategic national interest. Done with our findings, we made our way back, but barely 10 minutes into the journey, some boats noticeably began following us, and soon a cordon of boats was ringed around us. Looking more likely like a routine by perhaps some plain security operatives who were running checks on the waterways, judging at least by the UHF radio they had. Things turned quickly around when we were requested to submit all recording device we had. With several radio conversations made by our adopters, we finally were taken in separate boats to Oproza in Boramatu Kingdom, precisely the house of High Chief Government Epamupolo, aka Tompolo. While being detained by his loyalists, numbering hundreds, we were accused of coming to the creeks to cover an assignment without clearance from the boss. The adopters had brought 2 guns hours after our capture and put it on us to say this was found in our boat. The ordeal lasted 7 hours, an act which the governor of Delta State condemns in its entirety.
The act of itself is unfortunate and it is condemnable. Let me assure everyone that the presidency and the president himself has directed thorough investigation into the issue.
At the heart of this aggression lies the fact that we came to do a report about an Ishekiri community, Ajidagbo precisely, venue of the botched groundbreaking ceremony of the Ogidigbe EPZ by Mr. President, which of course negates the initial threats and protests some days back. Baramoto is an Ijaw community, while Ogidigbe is an Ishekiri community. The Baramoto people run the gas project codenamed Baramoto Ogidigbe Export Promotion Zone, and that seemed like some old communal rivalry playing out. The presidency has also reacted.
The project itself was conceived for the benefit of all Nigerians, not just Ishekiris, Ijaws, Urobos, or other ethnic groups in its immediate environment.
Catching an air of freedom is important, but what is more important is to see a country grow beyond ethnic and tribal sentiments, which at the least has brought us on the development and in some cases, death. From Lagos, Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
Well, good to have you back, Phillips. And now to other stories. The Senators confirmed Justice Mahmoud Mohammed as Chief Justice of Nigeria in accordance with Section 2311 of the 1999 Constitution. President Jonathan had earlier requested that the Senate confirm Justice Mohammed to replace outgoing Justice Maryam Aloma Mukhtar. Fielding questions from lawmakers, Justice Mohammed called for separation of the offices of Attorney General and Minister of Justice to ensure effective dispensation of justice. The human rights lawyer, Mr. Festus Keyamo, today sent a protest letter to the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party for allegedly excluding Adamawa State Governor Bala Ingelari from seeking a second term in office. In a 15-paragraph letter, he stated that since the formation of the PDP in 1999, no certain governor has been denied a second-term ticket. The only isolated incident was the case of Chinwoke Mbadinuju, former governor of Anambra State, who was prevented from running as a result of the crisis in the state at that time. He also condemned the zoning of the governorship position to a different constituency other than that of the governor. He said the PDP has 48 hours within which the matter must be resolved, or he would take the party to court. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Public Affairs, Dr. Donyo Okupe, says there is no reason to worry over the reintroduction of austerity measures by the federal government. Dr. Okupe told Channels Television that though the unfolding economic reality necessitated the decision, it will have no adverse effect on the citizens.
Naira. The month before, 603 billion naira. Now, if it starts to go to 550, so you want to make sure that you can add another 50 or 100, so that it does not the shortfall does not affect the distribution of money to the state government and local government and also to federal agencies. So as long as we are able to keep that in check, really there's no problem for anybody in the country at all, either the rich or the poor. You understand my point? So, is there a cause for concern? Yes. Is there a cause for alarm? No. Is there a cause for panic? No. Absolutely, there's no cause for concern. I mean, there's no cause for alarm, and there's no cause for panic. The ultimate thing to do is to ensure that the diversification of the economy that is already ongoing, should continue and be concluded and completed, for the benefit of the country. Right? I mean, before, the contribution of oil, sale of crude oil to GDP was quite high. Today, it has fallen to about 14%. Whereas agric and services, have risen to 22 and 51% respectively. Other telecom and other things, filling the gap. So, really speaking, diversification is already taking place. We have not really gotten there yet, but efforts are being made and results are coming.
When the news returns, Ogun State government seeks House of Assembly approval for 2015 budget. That's some business news. Join us again.